out in front. Now we're on board with Gavin Harlan. Harlan, very talented young driver here, not qualifying the way he's wanted to just yet this weekend as he puts some pressure on Potts. Goes to the inside. Is Potts going to let him go? He may be forced to go wide. Yes, he pushes him wide, side by side, off the Toyo Tires ramps for Potts and Harlan.
Oh, someone has to give him. Potts almost lost control of that. Take a look at some replays, and Hines, he's aggressive this year. He's got so much confidence aboard that number 57. Says to Nolan, get out of the way. I want to win here today.
Look at these guys. Look at Cole Potts in the 60. Hallmark Just.com truck kicks the rear end out. Just gets it together there. Harlan moves in front of him. Nolan, I want off this next ramp. I'm going to do what I got to do to make it happen. Hildebrand getting a little sideways there as well. He has now got his sights set on the number 1 of Paul the Dude Morris.
So Nolan from pole has gone back to 12th position behind Brabham and Gordon. So Lyndike Jr. grabs the race lead at the top, and look at the Hoff trying to push his way through with his teammate, if you like, in the road pod colours this weekend.
For 25, that's bad news for everyone because Ari's fast. These guys are battle out. It is at
times. He's led plenty of races, but it just hasn't come up with the W next there. Who was that led? It was...
On dit que dans la vie la roue tourne, mais là, elle a du mal à tourner dans le bon sens pour moi.
Olha só onde escapou. O Galídio escapou um pouco mais à frente. Não me pareceu o carro dele estar numa situação perigosa para a entrada do safety car. Mas a direção de prova sim entende. Ele foi tocado pelo Alan Kodair, hein? Houve um toque do Alan ali por trás do Júlio. O Júlio vem com o botão de ultrapassagem. Me parece que foi tocado pelo Alan e deu essa escapada.
Davis houses. Look at the replay. Nick Percat there on Todd Kelly, and you see there instantly no brakes. He's gone to the inside to miss drilling the back of Todd Kelly. He's gone across the inside of the tyre bundle, backed his car into the rear of Lee Holdsworth, and it has opened the back of that BJR Commodore up, taking the rear windscreen out. I've never seen one of the new rear windscreens break like that.
And I think this was a case of, well, I either hit Todd Kelly or I bail out of that and try and avoid and get lucky and avoid everyone. And Holdsworth copped the brunt of that in the right rear corner of the Preston Hire Commodore, as did Brad Jones Racing car. Incredible livery for this weekend. And gee, what started out as a really promising day for Brad Jones Racing ends terribly. And there's Nick.
So he's pretty keen to get over to Lee and just let him know that it wasn't him trying. No brakes.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So Nick,
across the Rolex sign at the inside of turn 1, and he was speaking about braking.
I think
there was none of it going on there.
That's either a brake failure or a stuck throttle. Nick did his absolute very best to get to the inside, but unfortunately tagged Lee Holdsworth, and that's taken the wind out of him. Good to see him out of the car, but you never like to see cars doing 250k an hour and having no stopping ability.
That's a big impact. Huge initial... Oh, man, look at the damage to the back of the Brad Jones Racing Commodore. We're under safety car. Naturally, that car in a dangerous position, and
Lee was nearly past. He nearly got that gap between the cars. But I would suggest a bit of suspension damage to Lee's car. I reckon that car will be back out, if not this afternoon, tomorrow. But I'd be surprised if we see Nick Percat's car out for the rest of the weekend. That would have done a lot of damage to the left rear and also right up to the parcel shelf for that Commodore.
They had such a tough year last year, Preston Hire Racing. Charlie Schwerkold's team, a big crash for Lee Holdsworth at Hidden Valley. Destroyed a car, had to get a new one built, turned it round. They had replacement drivers in their cars. Really tough initial season in supercar racing for that outfit since moving across to Holden. And just looking to stay out of trouble this weekend and learn and get up to speed. You're right about the damage and popping that rear screen out. And these cars built, the next generation supercars, car of the future when it was launched, were built to sustain that kind of an impact better than the previous spec cars. They moved the fuel cell forward of the rear axle, so they're much better at absorbing those rear impact. And you would have thought with an older gen car that would have created a few more issues for Nick Percat, fuel cells hanging out over the rear axle. So if you're going to crash, do it in one of these cars because they're very, very safe. And you can see the extra row of protection. So that a lot of the corners have got an extra row of tyre.
Oui, Patrick Boyer-Reg. Aïe, 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 aïe. Là, j'espère que Patrick est sorti de sa voiture. C'est en allé immédiatement dans la zone de dégagement. C'est ce que je crains le plus dans la compétition de sport motorisé. J'ai vécu des situations tout au cours de ma jeune carrière et le feu, c'est incontrôlable lorsque ça arrive.
Ouais.
Faut mentionner aussi que les pilotes sont serrés.
This is G-House.
Oh no, Ken Quinn has gone over this time in turn number 6. So he got him sideways last lap, and this time he's rolled over the 100 car.
That's a nasty rollover. You can see him moving inside the car there. He's just holding onto his belts there at the moment. Ken would definitely be shaken up right now.
He just caught the tail end of it, and the car.
This is G-House.
Already on lap number 1.
Oh,
Two trucks real sideways. Oh, and we've got a truck up and over, a big pirouette. That was a big wreck right now for the always evolving AE now number 75.
And it's Jake Kostecki. He's not going nowhere in a hurry.
He is hoping he is still going to be up and going, but he is on a 3-wheeler. Now I'm hoping that means Kostecki's saying, hey, you know what, I am okay. Crazy hard hits. You can see the cage there. Everything's intact. Everything's in good shape, except now he is down to a 3-wheeler. That was a wild ride right there for Kostecki.
That's a lot of damage to this truck. I haven't seen a truck pull apart like that in a long, long time. And they're warned about this going side by side through here in the driver's briefing this morning. Two trucks get together in midair. Nothing you can do about it there. And look at the way. And the dude was lucky. He probably got a bit of damage to his truck too on the way through. But massive damage to truck 75, the always evolving entry that we'd see Eric Davison in contact.
Wow.
With Hines, perhaps. Midair.
Real wild ride there. I have seen every lap of this series. I have yet to see a truck come apart like that, but it really doesn't matter what happened to the truck or how it happened. All that matters is that Jake Kostecki is in good shape, and he's giving thumbs up saying he's all right. And it looks like we're going to go into another replay here in just a moment. Really extreme, super slow-mo.
Contact with Melbourne. So it's Melbourne he's clashed with midair, slowing it right down. And contact like magnets in the midair.
Both of them sideways on their own. It looks like to me, both those trucks ran it in on the loud pedal a little too deep. They both unloaded the sidewalls of the tires and the suspension, everything unloaded together. They contacted, and it looks like Jake, he got the short end of the stick on that D.
Look at the camera angles
Thumbs
we have
up.
got here around today. This is phenomenal. That is incredible. That is the shot of the year.
Yes, it
Va Juanpi a buscar por afuera.
Frena sobre el pasto.
Claro, frena sobre el pasto y en el cruce inevitable lo sacude de atrás al auto de Gastón, que después encima copia todo el muro, todo el murete colocado allí. Bueno, mirá los daños en el auto del Coiro Dollar.
De l'essor actuellement qui pourtant avait des temps rapides. Ça, c'est Patrick Boyer.
Patrick Boyer qui
abandonne. Le feu est pris dans la voiture de Boyer.
The question is how much damage. Zach Lascalpo has huge damage on his car. The rest of the field's raced on. In fact, he needs to pull that one over. There's a fire underneath that car. Up front, Cam Hill has taken the win on a dramatic last lap. Steve Owen is second. Jimmy Vernon's third. But half the field stuck halfway around the lap.
Yes, and this car is definitely having an exciting finish.
Well, that's keen to get back to take the finish. There's fire extinguishers right there on pit wall,
Great.
so they'll be there to help that car. In just a moment, Zach Lascalpo will bail out of it. He's made it across the line, and they need to get onto that quickly because that's starting to take a hold. A dramatic way to finish race 13. We've had title contenders wiped out. We've had a last lap accident. We had a safety car in the middle of the race, and unfortunately now We have a car on fire here on pit straight.
On the starting grid, whoever's starting in position 9 in the next race won't be very happy about that.
No, definitely not, Leanne. That's absolutely right. Good news is that Zach's okay. He's stepped from that car. The fire, he's just straight onto it to try to look after that, but it's still burning underneath.
That doesn't look good, and I think sadly that might be the end of his weekend. It looks like.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to salvage that one with a race to come in. I think about 4 hours' time, and then another race tomorrow morning. So plenty of drama here in Newcastle. Let's have a look again at what unfolded. Liam McAdam in the background. He got a tag from Zach Scalpo, so that's where the damage came from the Scalpo that's ended up with his car catching on fire, and then the rest of these guys have nowhere to go. There's just no chance. It's a blind corner, and even if there's yellow flags out quickly, they're already there.
Out. Yeah, here's the replay. Second ramp, so he's in that gaggle of trucks coming towards you right now. This is going to be a highlight we'll see so many times. The wheel parts ways. Look where it goes. And just gives the bridge a shake. Now, just to reassure people, nobody can walk across those bridges when this race is on.
Look at that wild, wild ride